Hello and welcome to Black Crow Gaming. It's Arron here from obviously Black Crow, and I am here to talk about Adeptus Custodes again. And I want to do an episode this week where I hunt down the best player for Adeptus Custodes in the world at this moment in time. And you know what? He agreed to come and join me. So welcome, Anthony, to the channel.
Thank you so much for having me, Arron.
I'm really excited to have this opportunity to talk to you because actually I think I said to you about the premise of this video. We were going to keep it simple and we're just going to have two titles and we're going to go through those. And we're just going to kind of have a bit of a talk about that. And me and Anthony, in fact, we've been able to have a little bit of a conversation, haven't we? And obviously you've got quite a bit of a background, and an international background as that, as well as being a part of Team Canada. So I think let's give you a few minutes just to kind of talk to us about that, actually, because that was very interesting. I didn't know this. So, Anthony, the stage is yours, mate, for this one.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really surreal experience. Like, to be quite honest with you, I'm still absorbing the fact that I achieved the goal. I did start out the year saying that I qualified for the golden ticket for Worlds in late 2024, and I said I'm also going to Las Vegas the first time around to propose to my now wife. And I said, you know what, if we're gonna go all out, thank you, if we go all out, we're gonna go all out. Funny thing is, I actually proposed to my wife in Vegas, so I had an excuse to always go back to LVO. So it's kind of like a big brain investment.
Yeah, foreshadowing there, right?
Yeah, like, honey, this is our place, but we'll always plan it when LVO's there, and then it's kind of like our tradition I'll have. But yeah, it was a very big experience. I actually was the first time in America. I never flew there before or been there before, but Warhammer, has been such a really big part of my life where it's brought me out of my, my comfort zone, made me fly out to Vegas twice, to Atlanta, to Edmonton in Canada. And it was a really big experience. I'm still in shock, like I said, and I have a really big support group, like Working Warriors, the team. They've all been so supportive of me. I have a really good support group. The Brain Trust has helped me a lot with the list creation, calming me down, my mentality when I'm, they'll DM me when I'm 4-0 in LVO being like, keep it together, Anthony, keep it together. You're okay. Just roll better. And my wife, of course, is very, very, very supportive of everyone. Yeah.
And that's just great. That is great to hear. I reached out when I saw that you had posted on one of the Adeptus Custodes groups on Facebook, like you rightly should, just showing off the fact that you had achieved #1 ITC player, which I imagine there's many Adeptus Custodes players out there who are chasing the tournament scene at the minute would love to achieve that goal. So look, massive congratulations to you for that. Obviously, we've already talked about the Adeptus Custodes Discord, and you're going to come and join the competitive Discord that I run. But also, guys, if you're watching this now, hit up in the description below. Sorry, I had a moment there, blank. And you'll be able to get a link to that Discord as well, and come join us and speak to the likes of myself and Anthony and the others in that group about where their heads at with Adeptus Custodes. And we have players from all over the world, so they're all going to have different experiences, which is a really valuable tool to actually gain from, because one person's meta in Canada, and we all say this, all the top players say this, the meta is different in every place you go to. And
no, it really is.
And we always say in the UK, like the meta is almost completely on the other side of the spectrum to that in the US, and obviously, and then you go to Europe, and then it's again just flips completely onto the other side again, and sometimes it's really hard to find that balance, right? And this is kind of leads really nicely into kind of like our first title of discussion, Anthony, doesn't it? And we're going to go over to that right now, and we're going to go to this competitive philosophy. So what I mean by that, folks who are watching that, is it's kind of just like the mentality that you need to get into to prepare for all of these different games and all these different metas. So, Anthony, tell us a little bit about your process of this.
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing that I can say about the competitive philosophy is 40K is not a dice game, it is a mental game. If you go into the game and you're seeing, your opponent is saying, oh, I have all the damage 3 in the world. I have all the AP 2 ignore cover. I have fights first. If you pigeonhole yourself in that framework of he will just beat me, you will lose. You need to find out the ways of how to get around those kind of breakpoints and be able to come into the game with a cool, competitive, and sportsmanship-like mindset where you're able to just stage, move forward, and see how the chips fall. I think having a strong mentality is definitely something that you'll need to refine, and a skill set you'll actually want to build on in order to kind of hit those top tables and get to where you need to go.
I completely agree. Some of the things that I say to like members in our team, and I really try and drive this home, is doesn't matter about the person who you're playing opposite. Like, their name doesn't matter. You could be playing the best player in the world, but ultimately what the game comes down to is you playing your game plan. And if that game plan happens to work out for you on that day, and obviously it is a dice game, there is a little bit of element of luck, but if your game plan is solid and you work to that, it doesn't matter who's opposite you. You can quite easily win. And I think that's a common thing in competitive play, is that sometimes people will come across and they'll see the name. It could be any name, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, I'm playing this guy." Let's just say you pair into Skari round 1. Instantly,
happened before.
Yeah, but your mentality may be, "Oh, he's well known. We all know he's an amazing player. I'm just going to insta lose." And I think it's a big part of the when you are hitting the higher tables, a big part of that is changing that mentality and being like, actually, it doesn't matter who I'm playing. I'm not going to insta win and I'm not going to insta lose. We're just going to play a game of Warhammer, right?
And just to build on that, Aaron, the beauty of Custodes, and I know Custodes historically in the meta have not been that, top tier or high level. But what I will say, though, is that Custodes have their shortcomings, but the thing you have to realize is we still have 4-ups at the end of the day. So if you're a really good player who knows how to stage, who knows how to deploy, who knows how to respect heroics, and you face someone who's quote-unquote better than you, you still have a kind of a get out of jail free card, right? If they just come crashing at you, they're hoping at the end of the day that you don't roll your 4s. And if you do, doesn't matter how skillful you are, they're out in the open. Right, and
sometimes
that's just kind of how the game goes.
Sometimes you get, like, I feel like especially in Adeptus Custodes, you do get an opportunity where you are rolling hot. You have a period where everything kind of pays off, and that happens in Adeptus Custodes probably more so than maybe other armies, because you have those 4-ups, right? And you have you actually now, as you can see, I've put Land Raider there for a very good reason. We actually have very reliable shooting. We have very reliable combat. And actually, depending on which detachment you play, you could quite reliable movement as well. That's actually quite interesting, Anthony. What is your go-to detachment at the minute?
So it's really funny. So when I went to LVO and Worlds, I took Lions for GW layouts, and for WTC, I've been exclusively on Talons because 6-inch reactive is busted when you have Warden bricks and Guard bricks and Land Raiders.
I couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't agree with you more. I am an absolute fan at the minute with the way Adeptus Custodes play on WTC. I have got the triple Land Raider build. I do enjoy the triple. It is very satisfying. It is very satisfying to play. But there is an element of, you need to make sure that you are not overextending when you get out of that Land Raider, if your tactic is to fall back into the Land Raider. When I say fall back, I mean reactive move back into the Land Raider. And this is what differentiates, I think, the Custodian players who are going positive regularly, and the ones who maybe pick up the army and they struggle a little bit. And it's knowing the little nuances of the army.
100%. I think you have to take advantage of the fact that we still only move 6 inches. And that's not a lot compared to Eldar with Warp Spires. I move 24 in Overwatch and in your face, right? And at the end of the day, you have to really have good core mechanics and fundamentals. So a lot of times, like a lot of things that I've done at World especially, is taking advantage of the pile-in positions and the consolidation positions.
Yes.
So there are times you can pile in over the wall, so you fight the unit that's behind the opponent's staging point, but in consolidation, you can move 3 inches back behind the wall to the marker, and now you're no longer being able to shot at. And you always be mindful that you want to take advantage of that movement, and always, like you said, Aaron, within 6 inches back to be within range of the 3-inch disembark or re-embark into the Land Raider.
We talk about the fundamentals. I think the fundamentals in Adeptus Custodes are quite possibly that really shows if you are missing those fundamentals, right? And there's something I've really realized as an Adeptus Custodes player, and obviously we're all still learning all the time, and actually how important it is for a player to make sure that they get all the right information from their opponent, and to make sure that the information they're getting from their opponent is correct, because actually that really hurts us.
Yes, I agree. I think 40K, you're not playing against your opponent, you're playing with your opponent. And at the end of the day, we're playing with toy soldiers. It's a fun hobby. And I think what's important to note is there's no harm in communicating with your opponent. Hey, my intention is to do X, Y, and Z. Is there anything you can do that can, foil my plans, or anything that's like a gotcha? And if they're going to be great guys, or great gals, they're going to be able to tell you that. And you're having a conversation rather than, being a heated argument. And that's the difference, right? Being able to communicate.
And I think it's actually perfectly acceptable to, when you're in the middle of a game and say your opponent misremembers what your rule is, at that stage, rather than allow your opponent to continue to play at a disadvantage to himself, you should just remind them, hey, remember, you can't reactive move to my fallback, for example, or I can't reactive move to your deep strike, for example. So if you deep strike, I can't reactive move to that. So I think it's really, really key to be honest. And I think with Adeptus Custodes, it is quite an honest army to play, but it is one of those armies where there could be some real feel bad moments for your opponent, because they could just go into triple Warden Brick. You could pop your Feel No Pains and then table them in the next turn. I've done that, and it is a moment of your opponent's frustration will boil over. And I think from a competitive philosophy from us as players, we need to make sure that we manage that rightly.
Dice is something you can't control.
No.
We make jokes there's dice juju and everything, but at the end of the day, you cannot control what the dice results are. You can only control how you do. So focus on that. Don't worry about how tilting if, the other Custodes player makes all the 4-ups. Find a way around it.
Yeah.
Right? There's always a solution.
We're all guilty of a salty moment here and there. Everybody's Everyone's guilty of it.
Oh yeah, 100%. And back to your original point as well, Aaron, about competitive philosophy. Another point I wanted to bring up as well is a lot of my games as a Custodes player, they are won and lost in deployment. Especially on WTC, Search and Destroyed. I don't know which table map it is, but it's the one where there's no actual building in the top half of your Search and Destroy.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
I do. That's awkwardly to the side? Okay, so that is the worst map. I hate playing on that one because you cannot stage in the middle. You have to be a bit, more confident in your deployment. And I figured out in my earlier reps, I used to deploy more conservatively, and it bit me in the bum after, right? Because you're not able to secure your expansion. I think a lot of your games are lost in deployment. My biggest advice to every Custodes player is when you are playing the army, it is always to secure your expansion. It does not matter anything else. You don't care what the other opponent's doing. You need to make sure you secure your expansion and your home, and anything else is extra.
I dump so much stuff on my expansion. So, guys, if you obviously we're talking about this, there is a couple of videos of me playing live on a channel called the Battle Barn. Shout out to Eddie and the Battle Barn, fantastic setup. And if you watch me play that, in that gale. So last time I played solo on there, Anthony, I took a mixture of. I was able to take actually loads. I took 2 Telemons, 4 of the. 2 Telemons, 3 2 Vendreads and a Galatus, 3 units of Warden, not Wardens, 3 units of Custodian Guard. Sorry. 2 Caladius tanks and a bunch of sisters. Like, it felt like I had just loads of stuff. Have a think about it. And we were playing on one of the GW maps where there's essentially from your natural expansion, you can see right across the middle all the way to the other opponent's natural expansion. Do you know the map I mean? It's almost like
oh man,
it's like that. It's like that. So I
finally get to use your inches. Your 40 inches. You get to use it for once.
Yeah,
range.
So I looked at that map. I looked at that deployment, and I was like, I said to Eddie, I was like, I'm going to put 2 Caladius tanks and a Custodian Guard brick on that one objective. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, no, I'm being serious. And I literally drove and parked something insane, like almost 20 OC just on that point, because he was playing the new Chaos attachment with Huron and co. And I was like, you are never taking that objective off me now. You have to come for my home, which to do that, you've got to go through 5 dreadnoughts.
Yeah, it's definitely like you have the right idea. Secure the expansion and utilize every single number on that data sheet. There was actually a fun time. I played at a team event earlier this year into one of my best friends in the game. And, historically you hear from a lot of other, YouTube channels, they always say, your Caladius tanks must shoot every turn, every time. And I don't really do that. I just look at the numbers. So one time in that game, I just advanced a tank onto his expansion because he had a Castigator with 3 OC on it and our tank's 4. So it didn't shoot. It just went up there and died, but it takes off 4 points. It got me Storm Hostile, denied primary, and the game is won on points, not how much you kill. And I think having that change in mindset is also a philosophy you want to, really, utilize and really understand and be able to apply it to each game that you go into.
I have funny you should say that. So again, it's a search and destroy map, but on a UKTC mission map, there is if you go into this Vanguard Space Marine build where they can go redeploy off the sides, right? And every Space Marine player has that combi lieutenant, which goes and takes their natural expansion early. And I went first on take and hold, the normal on a really open board with sent devs coming in. And I had a Caladius tank there, and I was like, this combi lieutenant is going to react and run away. If not, I'm just going to charge it with this tank and tank shock and kill him, and then he's going to lose loads of benefits. So I did exactly that. I drove a 215 point unit to deny 5 primary really early, because if you go first on take and hold, you need to be aggressive. You need to be super aggressive, and you need to deny points really early. And if you get tabled, that's okay, because you've probably denied enough points early game to be able to be like, okay, you need to force the second player, so the person going second, to have to constantly fight for their natural expansion rather than then come in to try and get yours. Because if you don't do that and you allow them to come and sit there, that's where you're in real trouble for in the late game, where they can just hide everything, because that's what they do. If you go second on take and hold, you typically hold back a little bit to try and dogpile all the objectives at the end. But if you force them to lose loads of points really early on because they're playing so reserved, then it's a real opportunity for us as Adeptus Custodes players, because we do have ridiculously tough tanks, ridiculously tough units that you can't reliably kill with one thing. It just doesn't happen.
Exactly. Exactly.
It just doesn't happen. No. I mean, it feels really weird the first time you throw a Caladius tank out to the objective to die. It's like...
It's a christening.
But I promise you guys, you'll feel good afterwards, I promise.
Especially if you make all the 5-ups and you watch your opponent get in shock when the last cannons don't do anything.
Yeah. And that tank is tough. But you could do that with a Land Raider. I literally disembarked a unit out of my Land Raider and then advanced my Land Raider up, because I didn't want the unit inside to die, but I was absolutely fine with them trying to crack a Land Raider.
I was actually talking to Folgers, because we had a U.S. scrim with Team Canada a couple of weeks ago, and Folgers was telling me that the Land Raider is essentially a blade champ with 100+ point enhancement, where it doubles its toughness and gives the unit advanced charge and somehow holds Custodian Guard in its belly.
That's a really weird way of looking at it, but it kind of rocks.
But it rocks, and that's how I see. Oh yeah, that's kind of how you can see it, and it kind of it can split from a unit. And I'm like, okay, I like this mentality. It's not the way I approach it, but I actually understand where you come from now. And since then, I just looked at it like, wow, like seeing that's how you look at the game. It changes your perspective on like how much more board control the Land Raider build gives you, how much more like, you know, utility it does. It sounds boring on paper. You just unga bunga go up there and stage, but you have a lot more units, a lot more utility. You're not just stuck with a 400-point unit of Wardens and going, hope I roll 4s.
And that is what that build was, right? Like the four. But at least with this Talons build, you do get like reactive moving Land Raiders is just flat hilarious.
So silly. I love it.
I mean, and people keep saying, "Oh, do you think we're going to get nerfed?" I'm like, no, because actually our win rate is only 50%. Like,
Yes.
and I don't think we're going to get any changes this close to 11th. I think, and we've kind of gone off teeter with competitive philosophy. We'll touch this on rumors, but I definitely think we're going to get new data sheets when we get our new box set, and we'll talk about that in the rumors as to why I think that. Shall we move on to the next point, Anthony? Let's do the one that everybody wants us to talk about.
Let's do
is
it.
list building 101, baby. List building 101. The mentality of people when they build a Adeptus Custodes list. Now I get it. Now I get people ask me, "Oh, what do you think of this? What would you tweak? What would you tinker? What would you change? What would you do?" And we kind of have this like discussion backwards and forwards. And like I recently ran something where I took the triple Land Raider build, but I put 2 Inquisitors in instead of taking Draxus, and instead of taking 6 Custodian Guard, I took 2 lots of Venatari. And they were like, "Well, why did you do that?" I was like, because Talons is actually really CP hungry, like really CP hungry, and if I can do stuff for free, and that unit allows me to do stuff for free, I'm gonna take it. So I'm gonna rapid ingress for free. I'm gonna use the Inquisitor, so if I throw a grenade on a 3+, I get the CP back. You know, I want that tech. Also, the thing that thing pumps out an insane amount of death wounds, but that's
When it goes off, it goes off.
Oh my god!
Like when you roll 2 6s on that, you're just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
This is 55 points. What are we doing here?
Yeah, and you can take the combi bolter as well. So
Gun.
yeah, so I had a scenario, and this is prime TTS. I threw a grenade, did 3 mortals, did the flamethrower, psychic flamethrower, did another 9 mortals, and killed an entire Grey Knights 5-man Grey Knight squad without shooting anything else.
Oh my gosh! I'm gonna one up you here.
Oh, okay, I'll enjoy this.
So list building 101. This is the free tip. Never remove Draxus from your list. She is the first thing I put in every custodian list. I had a game last year where I was playing Lions, not Talons, granted, but I had her attached to a guard unit, and she herself, no double tap, one-shotted Angron.
I did have that with my Inquisitor recently as well. It's just wild, isn't it, when they do that?
Yes, it is. She is insane. She is the backbone of the list. She has won me games. If there was one model in my list that I would give the MVP to, it would be Draxus.
See, this is where it changes, though, because I dropped Draxus for the double Inquisitor.
Really? Double Inquisitor.
And to take the double Inquisitor and to take then another unit of Sisters. And this is my big tip for list building 101. Play the game with 5 unit of Sisters and watch the game just completely open up for you. Screening, not a problem. All of a sudden, screen's not a problem. Being able to steal objective because you've got prosecutors that remember they're 2 OC each. Throwing a 40-point unit to steal an objective off someone when you then stage your Custodes behind. Chef's kiss. They've got to come and get rid of Sisters. And Sisters do a thing where they just don't die. Like sometimes they just survive stuff.
T3 3-up save for a chaff unit for 40 points? Like, what other army has a 40-point chaff unit as T3, as 3-up saves?
And it got a
With
bit...
Field Pain against Mortal Wounded Psychic. Just throw it in there. Like, why?
And this is something that we should also remember. Their base size is like 32 mil.
Yeah.
And that's big.
Yeah.
That is big because most other units like that, they're looking at like 28 mil bases, right? And we've got a 32 mil base. Now, you're probably thinking, Arron, why does that matter? I'm like, because when it comes to screening, that makes a difference. You gain a big amount of distance.
It adds up because it's 4 of them that are 32 millimeters, and you don't have to screen out 9, right? A lot of people that I've seen, they're like, I'm going to screen out exactly 9 inches. Something I ask opponents is, what is the smallest footprint unit you have that can deep strike or uppy downy? They give me the models, or I have like the bases in hand, and I mimic around, what the spacing would be. I get the 9-inch rod, and I bump it slightly. So you can cover like 12 inches of coverage because there's not enough space for the bases to physically fit, and that's how you mini-max that kind of chaff placement. Mm-hmm. And I agree with you, Aaron, 4 to 5 minimum. I do not leave home with less than 4 chaff units. I do not. Any raid list I've created has at least 4 to 5 sister units.
I promise you guys, listen to us on this one. It will open up your game. It will completely change. And you probably think, but then I can't fit this in. I'm like, honestly, if you can get 6 unit of custodians in, you're fine. you're gonna be okay.
Sisters and Draxus are what wins me the game. The guard. The custodians, whenever they touch, they will kill, and even if you don't roll good, they're going to cripple that unit enough where they will not kill that unit. And that's the end of the day. It doesn't, unless you roll horrifically bad, then that's on you.
Yeah.
But otherwise, sisters, they'll hold the late game, they'll hold your expansion late game. I have 40-point sisters, they're the same ones. They're carries, I call them carries. They just sit on the home field, and carries just sit on my home field all game, and they score me 5 points, and that's it.
That's they are very, very valuable, and Talons does unlock them more because obviously you can do an awful lot with them in Talons. I love Witch Seekers. Witch Seekers actually took a small nerf when they went down in points because obviously the Flamers used to be able to. The rule used to work when you could do Overwatch. It was whenever you were shot by this hit by this Flamer or wounded, and unfortunately that changed to only in the shooting phase. I used to love randomly trying to stop somebody being able to do their strategy that they wanted by making them take a battle shock and then them failing the battle shock and then being like, haha, bring something else out.
Their ability. I love how GW gives you an extra rule for 45 points, including Scout and everything. I love it. I think Sisters are arguably one of the best units in the Codex.
And you still get people who live and die on the hill of the Vigilators. What's your opinion on Vigilators?
I am really glad you brought that up. So when Lions came out, I've experimented with a Rhino and 10 Vigilators. And I have talked to a lot of other National Custodes players here in Canada, and I have played that exact list. And I've been told 10 Vigilators with +1 a hit and +1 a wound with Dev Wound will one-shot the War Dogs. They've done it. I believe you. I don't like it. I think a chaff unit should be a chaff unit. I think if you want something that's a hit hard, you just send out a guard squad.
Absolutely agree.
You send out 4 guard, it picks it up, and they don't kill the 4 guard unless they respond with something that's double or triple the points cost. But if they send out 10 Vigilators, they can get picked up very easily. And the whole point is, Custodians inherently, their biggest flaw is they do not trade well in early game. I steer into that skid. I will send a 150-point unit to pick up 60 points, because in return, to pick up my 150 points, you need to bring out 300 to 400 plus point of resources to deal with this. At which point I can then push in and pincer you. That's kind of the mentality I go with. But I have tried it. It's nice, it's cute, it's fun. But I have not brought that list to a competitive setting where I've been able to be in T-Whip or been able to podium in an event with them.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're not in my list. There's something I looked at, I experimented with. I thought I put them in, and then I was like, man, I'm paying almost 200 plus points to put this unit in. For the package. And then I'm like, well, I could just have a Land Raider.
Yeah. Or a 150-point guard squad that does the exact same thing, but it's cheaper. Exactly.
Or a Venerable Dread.
Yes.
So something I talked about recently on the channel, and this is for building solar lists, guys. So if you don't have Venerable Dreadnoughts in your solar list, then you are insane and you need to go get some because they are auto-take every single time. But there's something that all armies hate, and especially Adeptus Custodes, which is why I say you should always take loads of chaff to screen, is combat armies hate being turned around. They hate the fact that they get pinned in their home. So if there is a moment where we have to come back to deal with stuff, that's bad. But a Solar Spearhead allows you to do that to your opponent so well because you can launch those dreadnoughts like 28 inches, if you're lucky, straight into their backfield, into their deployment, and they have to meaningfully commit to kill it. And if they do not kill it in shooting, and they have to kill it in combat, that thing is more than likely coming back and going to be another plague for you. And that you can do that 3 times. You could do that each turn. You could just throw a Vendread straight into their home, or you just trade the Vendread on an objective because it might just get back up again at the end of the phase. If they don't commit to kill it, that thing has won you loads of points. Solar isn't. I think a lot of people don't realize that the damage in Solar doesn't come from the dreadnoughts really. Like you can take the Achilles, you can take the Galatis. They do the work. The Telemon doesn't really. That's just more of like it looks good. It's just a bit of a hard bit of resin. But those Vendreads will win you games.
Yeah, I love the advanced shoot too on the tanks. Advanced shoot. Oh.
Yeah.
You roll 6 and you're like, I have angles I never had before. Right? And
hello.
It's a glorious feeling.
And
it's a glorious feeling.
Ignoring cover with Caladius tanks.
Oh. There's actually a meme, and you'll know who I'm talking about when they hear it. This is a very hot take. At one point early on in my ITC run, I did not like tanks. I said the AdMech, what's that AdMech tank? That's the equivalent, that's similar to the Caladius tank, the one that shoots really well, the 18 summer shots.
Yeah.
That one, I've always said that one is better than the Caladius tank. Because you can deal with chaff, and if the buffs, it's almost as well as the Caladius tank. And my buddy hates it. He gets so triggered when I say that and goes, you have lethals and twin linked. And then when I played 2 tanks and realized, this is much different than if I re-roll the same dice again because I failed it. It's a complete game changer. So I agree. Caladius tanks, just advanced shooting, moving through walls with the dreadnoughts. Solar Spearhead's definitely a attachment to look into for sure.
You kind of hope the meta changes so that you can go into Solar Spearhead, right? Because Solar Spearhead is one where I definitely think there is ability to do some really fun things there with the troop build because it's got the pile-in D3 plus 3. Yeah, that's really strong, really strong. You've got the ability to fight on death, which Adeptus Custodes love, which I think's awesome. Ignore cover, advance and shoot with your vehicles, plus the OC to your vehicles, so your Land Raiders are getting tougher, and the ability for bikes to go through walls. Do not if you want to do something different with list building, guys, and you want to move away from the Talons thing, Solar Spearhead, the reason that is not being played at the minute is because Talons is what's favoured in the meta at the minute, but Solar Spearhead 100% does have a home for being like maybe number 2, but maybe above Lions, because you don't have to worry about.
I love Lions. I know. I love Lions. It gets a bit sad because you do have a reactive move, but it's really sad when you roll a 1.
Yeah, it's the worst type of reactive move because it's either amazing or it's shit.
Yes, like you have to be right up against the wall for a 2 to matter.
Yeah,
because your base is just over an inch. So if you roll a 1, you just spend CP to go to Vegas and got nothing.
Yeah, you just stood there anyway. You're like, okay, I guess I'll make this charge 1 inch longer.
The one thing I do love about Lions is the superior creation Terminator Captain.
Yeah,
that guy. I will tell you right now, that guy in Draxus was what got me best in faction at LVO. Because I dubbed him the Walmart Warden. Because he was 100, I think he's 155 points, I think, all in, with the superior creation enhancement.
Yeah.
Right? And all you do is you put him right in the middle, like as close to the middle objective as possible, and you just beeline him there. And you sit in there and go, deal with this. Because So for those who don't know, superior creation is just he gets back up on a 2-up, and in Lions you have an ability to re-rack the captain's ability, and a Terminator can make all damage 1. So when you put all these together, that means when you put this Terminator captain in the middle, your opponent has to send enough resources for you to fail 7 saves in shooting and in melee, or he has to give you the mid board. And that kind of solves the early trading problem the Custodes have. I know, Aaron, your next question might be, do I like the Dominus, the one that's like the plus strength AP damage enhancement? I hate it. I have played that so many times, and sometimes you'll kill 2 or 3 Grey Knight Paladins, and sometimes you kill none and he just dies.
So my opinion on that is that if you're putting it on the Shield Captain Alaris, the Alaris Shield Captain, you're playing it wrong.
Yeah.
That enhancement has only one home, and that is on the Bike Captain.
Yeah.
Because
I agree with that.
Because if you're playing the strategy with the Bike Captain, where you just put him with 2 other guys, and you do not use that Shield Captain to go to the middle board. You use him to take your natural expansion. You secure it, and then you move away from your natural expansion. You do as big a wide arc with him as possible, because when you need to, you move out, you charge, you kill, and you move another 12 inches. The next thing you know, you're on your opponent's home objective.
I love that. I think the Shield Captain fight and move back is just so good. On my experiences on GW, bikes are really good. On WTC, they are not, because the ruins are too thick, and because of the way your oval base is so long, you have to be perfect with your movement, your piling, your consolidation, because to move back 12, you have to keep in account the ruins and gain around it. And even if the spec of your base is on that plate, that captain is going to get lit up.
Yeah, it's horrendous. I wouldn't take bikes on WTC, but I would take a Venatari, have a great home on WTC. Yes. They're kind of like your pseudo bikes in a sense, because they're, if fast moving custodians, yes, you've got that from your Land Raiders, but Venatari, free rapid ingress, free the fullback shoot and charge. This, like I said when we were talking about competitive philosophy, we were talking about that idea of a list that I want to try and get as much important stuff which you normally have to pay a stratagem for free as I can, and I try and build that into my list, and that's why I like the Venatari in these Talons builds.
Yeah. The fallback shoot charge, the ingress is really good. I love the movement of Venatari, and they're a great skirmish unit. They're the best skirmish unit in the game. They'll go out, they'll take it up, and deal with it. Right?
So we've got your MVP, which has been Draxus. Okay.
Yes.
We've both had, I've gone a different way, which is cool, because that just shows obviously different styles over across the pond. I wasn't top of the ITC though, folks, but didn't try. but I think what a lot of people say, that Adeptus Custodes are a bit one-dimensional, and actually what we've just been able to do, Anthony, just in our discussion, is show actually how not one-dimensional they are. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Like we talked about, I said that actually I think Solar might be our second best attachment behind Talons at this moment in time, and then Lions is behind on there. And I think the reason that is because actually the Land Raider meta is a thing, yes, because they're cheap and they're good and they're strong, but they are better in Solar because of being able to move through walls. So if you wanted to play, especially the teams format, I feel like if you were playing like a really aggro aggressive Adeptus Custodian list, you could go Solar and probably do quite well, because just being able to bust through those WTC walls is massive with a great big freaking tank like a Land Raider, right? Or just
people have to respect you. They have to respect the potential of how fast you can move. Just because you move it doesn't mean you're going to. But they always have to respect that, because if they don't, you just hit that big red button and you're there.
Yeah, it's very cool. Do I also like about that build as well is that you've got the -1 to wound on vehicles too.
I love that.
But if you've got 2 CP for whatever reason and you're in a real pickle, you could just pop smoke on the Land Raider, and then you could just do -1 to wound, and then that thing is just not dying. It's not dying this turn. Not unless you commit all 2,000 points of your army into trying to do it, or something goes horrendous for the Adeptus Custodes player, like it does become almost like irremovable in that one.
Yeah.
I had a moment actually, like popping smoke on the Land Raiders is another really great play for like list builder, and please don't forget that as a stratagem, folks, when you are playing, because that actually, like that -1 to wound, -1 to hit, sorry, and giving you the benefit of cover when you're just like caught with your thumb out is amazing. Like it will save you your Land Raider.
Yep, there was a game I played against T-Suns where they had the 10-man Terminator build with a ton of bolters.
Oh my God.
And you pop smoke on that, and you go from saving on 6s to 5s unless they recover, and they match on the hit, saves you. Because math, I don't know about the math, someone could probably correct me here, but like those times I've played it, they've always killed it or almost killed it within a 1 to 2 wound variance. And with the sisters given the battlefield pain with Talon specifically, and the smoke and the cover, it just gets you enough that break point where the Land Raider survives on 1 wound, and your opponent's Terminators are just sitting there in the open going, uh-oh.
Shit.
Yeah.
That is the best way we could describe that moment. So
yeah,
obviously at the minute for Adeptus Custodian players, like the general consensus is to just take loads of Custodian Guard. Yeah. I think if you look at just about every Custodian list out there, don't be wrong, we are still seeing the triple Warden brick somewhere. But I think if we're talking about list building, we're talking about Adeptus Custodes, and the thing that I'm struggling with Adeptus Custodes list building at the minute is actually putting Adeptus Custodian characters in.
Yes. Draxus is current Warlord. Because
and that is sad.
Yeah. Again, a Custodian's army, you don't want Custodian characters. It kind of feels bad for sure. Because the only one that I would accept is a Blade Champ. But again, for 100 point plus enhancement, I get him to become T12 and carry guys in his belly. So give and take. But Blade Champs are the one I would take as well. Sometimes you just scam 6s on the Devwound Blade and you pop a Lehman Russ or a Rogal Doran. You never know.
I gotta admit, I do love a Blade Champ in Solar as well, because you can give them the extra damage and extra attack, and all of a sudden that the weapons that are like the different variants of the Blade Champ just become obscene. Flat 4 Dev is just like, when that does pop off, it's just
silly.
Yeah,
silly.
Yeah, and or you're going for like 9 attacks damage too.
Oh, it's insane. Yeah, I think the Blade Champ would definitely be the one that I would consider. I have earlier on, so when I was practicing lists for LVO, I had tried, on the insistence of many friends, to try Trajan. So I brought Trajan and a guard squad into a 5-round GTS local here, and he did nothing for 4 rounds, but he picked up 6 Blade Guard vets in the last round. That's it. Wasn't worth it.
No.
Like, it sounds cool. 12 attacks, 10, 2, 3, +1 to wound, reroll wounds. It sounds great until you do it, and then it's not great when you roll it and you're like, oh, I just rolled all ones. Oh, no sustained. This sucks.
None of our characters should be north of 110, 120 points at the moment.
No. And I'm very sad that Blade Champ lost the reroll advance.
Yeah.
I've spent many a CP for a reroll advance from a 1 to a 2. It's 100% increase in efficiency, but it still feels like ass when you're going from 1 inch to 2 inch.
It's 100% increase and 100% disappointment.
yeah, exactly. It's all about the mental. It's all about staying positive, and you remove 1 more extra inch.
I mean, and that I think is actually a big reason as to why I'm not taking Blade Champs at the minute, because actually that, like, the Land Raider just guarantees your game plan, whereas the Blade Champ was based on an advance roll, which if you roll badly, you're just like, oh, okay, well, that's my game plan, just in the bin. So why even have that as a variant? Just make it so that it doesn't matter if you've got
fixed.
Yeah, you just
fixed.
Just fix it. And that's great. Like, I think what's happened now with the Adeptus Custodes, and what I'd like to see happen if we get some changes, and we're going to talk about those in a minute, is I'd like to see the characters all come down in points, and then the other units can go up in points. Guard can go up, others can go, because I think they probably do need to go back up a little bit. But if Adeptus Custodes characters come down, great. But we're not using them, and that's a problem for Games Workshop. You're not using their characters at all. which is weird.
I think, and this is something that my local group has heard way too many times, and I'm glad that, Aaron, you gave me a platform to say this, and now my little spiel will be international. And I brought this up at Worlds too, to certain playtesters, and I said, the lowly guardsmen, the ones that die in the billions and trillions a day, have a handheld explosive device called a grenade. And they have the grenade strat keyword. Why do the custodians, whose armor is valued in the number of worlds, does not have access to a simple handheld explosive grenade strat? Agraxis does.
Oh, it upsets me so much. Do you know the stratagem I missed the most from Night? I don't know if you played Night.
Tanglefoot grenade.
Oh my god, bring it back!
It's so good. Just rolling a 6, being like, yeah, your plan's just not happening now. Yeah. Sorry, dude.
Yeah, it was so good.
I'm with you. Tanglefoot grenade. Give it back. And they gave it to Recon Guard. They gave it to Recon Guard, but they wouldn't give it to us. We don't get good things. We don't get AOC. We don't get it. But you know what? And for Talons, for our pseudo Lance +1 to wound, it's 2 CP, and you have to scratch them first.
Oh, for God's sake, yeah. So I just never use it. But
I use it all the time.
Oh, I just don't find myself in a position where, like, I look at it
too.
And I look at the map and I go, oh, I don't think I'm in this bad a spot, so it's okay.
I use it a lot in my go turn, but I will tell you this: whenever I do use it, I die inside. Slowly.
Yeah, it's not.
I die inside.
It doesn't make you feel good, does it? And then they give it like giving us +1 to hit, like in Lions. I was like, okay, this is dumb, but whatever. And then giving us like the +1 to wound, and I was like, oh, that's really nice. And then I read it, and then you get to that point where you're like, you got to be 6 inches away from any friendly custodian unit, and bad custodian players will mess that up all the time.
Yes. I have to bring a 6-inch rod, and even then, I'm just like, I hate this. Because a lot of times when you stage Custodes, you're playing an army that inherently wants to castle up. So, like, you want to be able to be within 6 so that you can protect your unit from heroics and be able to heroic in and use that movement to slingshot onto objective. In Lions, it almost feels very counterintuitive because you need to be away from them.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And Lions is the best build for Wardens, because Wardens have that survivability. But Wardens are so expensive to be good. To make them good, it's just obscene. Obviously, like, Valerian is still arguably one of our best characters because of having AOC built in, like, for combat, and he is great. But again, I think that's one of the things that I'd like to see the most change is the characters. The characters need like a complete rework.
Yeah, the captain on Jetpack is also really nice, but in order for him to work, you also need to bring a 155-point tax of bikes.
Yes.
Very similar to the Terminator. He's great, especially the plus whatever, but you need to also bring a tax of 2 Terminators. Right?
Obviously, you could have that in Lions, that almost 200-point lone op.
Tried it. It seems cool.
But
that's about it. That's about it.
Do you know what the funny thing is? Like, so we've talked about Solar, we talked about Lions, we talked about Talons. Let's go on to what was quite possibly one of the most disappointing detachments that they had to almost rewrite. Shield Host.
I have a love-hate of Shield Host.
So Shield Host provides probably the highest amount of feel good when it pops off. Because when it pops off, it like flat fucks. Like, it just...
What do you mean you rolled 10 5s out of 15 dice on 3 guys? What are you doing?
Yeah.
What do you mean you're rerolling wounds? Why am I being hit 25 wounds from 150 points?
Yeah. It flat fucks. But my problem is the stratagems just aren't good.
They don't have reactive move. They don't have it. For me, it's the reactive move. I'm too pampered now. They've given me a quality of life that I need to have.
Yeah.
With Custodians.
Or
give me a reactive move.
Or give us Tanglefoot. If you're not going to give us reactive
Yes.
move, give us Tanglefoot
I will
grenade.
go to Shield Host right now if they give me Tanglefoot Grenade. I do not care about reactive move. I will take Tanglefoot.
Yeah,
I will take it.
absolutely. I mean, obviously we then have 2 other attachments that are just absolutely pointless, which is a shame. Null Maiden's a cool idea, but has no substance whatsoever. Like, it's that one guy that won a GT with it in like the Bowel of Texas. The Bowel of
Legend.
Texas. He is a legend, yes. But how many sister units are actually in that list? You know, interesting. And then what's the? I can't even remember what the other one.
Or Champions.
That's it. Auric Champions is just. That is a tragedy.
I don't know what it does. I think they have a fallback shoot and charge. That's all I know.
It only works for the characters. If they made
It's only for the characters? They changed it.
No. So they've got a fallback shoot charge, but a lot of the stratagems only work for the characters, right?
Oh, okay.
But
Gotcha.
if they made it so that those stratagems worked for the character units, then it changes things.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they become because there's a stratagem in there to give it a feel no pain. Could you imagine if that was on a character unit?
Oh, insane. I love it.
Your warden's just got feel no pain the whole time. It'd be so good.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Auric Champions, I felt like I liked the name of it. So when I went through the detachments, I was like, this Aurora Champions sounds really good. And I'm like, oh, it's all characters only. And we don't want to bring characters. So it's like,
we're in a weird spot. So we'll quickly just touch a little bit more on list building. So right, we've got the meat and bones of it. Is obviously you're starting with your Draxus. We're getting our chaff in there. We know that we're going to put our battle line in there. We know that we're potentially what we're going for. Are your lists changing drastically based on the terrain you're playing at the minute?
No, but my deployment does.
Yes.
My deployment changes drastically based on the layout I'm playing. So on GW, I am much more aggressive because at Worlds is a very big example. There were a lot of layouts on GW that I recognized in that event where you had to just roll a 3-up on the advance or accept you will be shot. And at that point in WTC, we have a very big luxury of seeing the terrain plate goes right up to the edge of the board. We don't need to care. We can just move up to the edge of the plate and go on our day. I think deployment and the aggression changes significantly. I have played the triple warden double tank list on GW and WTC for I think for my ITC run at least 120 times. Practice games.
It's a lot.
I can tell. My wife tells me touch grass and not the mat. The mat does not count.
Understood.
Yeah.
It's a strange environment to be in because actually, if I think about how many times I've played, I'll get a list where the meta will change. Mm-hmm. I'll stick to that one list and I'll just play that one list pretty much religiously, because ultimately with Adeptus Custodes you need to also almost make it muscle memory with like where your placement is and how you move.
100%. And I think with the movement, just to build on to that, Arron, is that I also do a really weird thing where I will sometimes re-roll successful charges.
Oh, just to
sounds weird.
Yeah, to bring them lower. Right, if you want the pile in.
To bring it lower. Just to bring it lower so I avoid heroics from the other opponents. Because I roll too high, I have to base it possible. Well, now I get a heroic. Now I might not feel too good about having 2 assault breaks into my custodians. So sometimes what I do is I string the guard out in a line, and I roll the dice, and if it's too hot, I'll re-roll it and hope you don't roll snake eyes. And you kind of stage away from heroics. And it sounds really counterintuitive, but it has won me more games that can count just by doing that and being able to keep my resource for one more turn.
Yeah, because we can't be trading too many resources too early. No. But this is why I say when you get to like the big units of chaff, that kind of opens the game up. Shall we move on to the fun bit? The Adeptus Custodes rumors, baby. Now, I've heard little talks that maybe this Sunday. So I'm hoping this video will go out this week. So today's the 18th. So over the next couple of days, this Sunday could be pre-orders. But what I think the biggest rumor is, and I touched on this in the previous one, when the Caladius tank drops, that has a new weapon on there. And if you read the article, they changed the name of the weapon that was on top of the Caladius battle tank. Did you notice that?
I did not. You have a great keen eye. Tell me more.
So obviously the Caladius tank is just like a heavy blaze cannon, right? Like the Aratus heavy blaze cannon. Well, that's now not its name on the Caladius grav tank.
Oh, what is it now?
I'm gonna have to find the article to remind myself. But basically, anyway, I digress. It is different. And then obviously we've got the Lastrum Bolter, heavy Lastrum Bolter, which is the worst gun on the planet. Don't get me started on that. I hate that fucking gun.
Hey, it's great to scratch a wound for your 2 CP lance.
Oh yeah, fantastic. Fucking shocking. Let's give you something that's strength 6, AP 1, but let's make it 1 damage.
Hey, I have sustained.
Oh god.
I have sustained.
Yeah, but so do heavy bolters, and they're fucking twin linked.
We're older technology. We still have it, okay? Just give me that.
Oh, we're gonna give you the most powerful freaking anti-tank gun in the game on top of this one tank, but we're gonna give you the shittest chaff gun underneath. Anyway, they announced in the thing that we're getting a whole new gun on the bottom, right? Which basically looks like almost like it's going to be like a Neo-Volkite style weapon, right? Now, that's really cool, but you mean to be telling me that this tank that's been a 40k tank, you're not going to give us that? Of course we're going to get that in 40k. Like, they're not, and folks, these models are not going to Legends. They would not be insane enough to put these to Legends for Adeptus Custodes players, because that is basically like retconning 50% of what we collect, and then we're literally left with Land Raiders, Venerable Dreadnoughts, Custodian Guard and Wardens, and Alaris, and the bikes.
It would gut the faction. It would gut the faction.
It completely, yeah. So we're not going to be losing them, and they wouldn't spend so much on like redoing the Dreadnoughts, giving us a detachment. Like, they've made a point of showing that these guys are going to be around. So I think we're going to get a new data sheet for the Caladius. I don't know if you also saw one of the variant options on the Venatari. He had a grenade in his hand.
Don't tease me. Don't tease me.
So I think...
I will tell everyone I did this if they have grenades. Just so you know, I have talked everyone's ear off at Worlds. Every playtester who, they probably blacklisted me based on the number of times I told them, give us grenades. Please.
So have you seen? So if you look at the models, they had and they had one of the guys there who was literally like throwing what looks like a Tanglefoot grenade.
Please.
So I think we're gonna get. I think we're gonna get a new data sheet for Venatari. I think we're gonna lose the free rapid ingress because being able to rapid ingress 3 units is obnoxious, and that probably shouldn't be in the game.
No.
And I'm okay with that. If I then walked away with fucking Tanglefoot grenade.
I would give up a feel pain for Tanglefoot grenade.
Oh my god, yeah. And I think we're going to get a new data sheet for them. I also think the Coronis grav tank is basically going to become like our new Land Raider.
I have one in my collection. I have played it once, and it just exploded. Turn 1. So I couldn't fit it anywhere.
But if they gave you Deep Strike, which they says it has on that article,
Deep Strike now? What?
So they're saying this for heresy, but there's no way that rule doesn't pour. I think we're gonna get a hot. And bear in mind, guys, this is rumors. This is all hearsay, but I'm just pulling apart the article. If they gave us a Coronis tank that had Deep Strike, which would make sense, and the weapon on top of it is now called a heavy blaze cannon. So it basically becomes essentially a Land Raider, because it is toughness 12, 16 wounds. If you gave us Deep Strike, I would be over the moon with it. Yeah, it would be really easy to screen out, but my God, you rapid ingress it right in the middle of the board where you need it to be, and just drive it forward, or just get your guys out.
Why don't we give it assault ramp as well?
Oh my God, I hope it gets us. It won't get assault
You
ramp.
ingress it right in the middle of the board. Yeah, screen your 9 inches. It moves 10. Disembarks 3. I mean, you're home till next turn.
Yeah, this is where I think we're gonna go with it, and I think the new Heresy Guard, they can also port over as Wardens. We've already seen that the Melter Spear lives on the Shield Captain, so we're gonna get that unit come through. I think if anything is gonna get Legend, I think we will probably lose Sagittarium Guard.
They're such a good model, though. I have 24 of them. They're so good looking.
They are, but if there's anything that's going to go, I reckon it would be them. I could see the bikes going. Unfortunately,
Yeah, the Agamontis. What I
Yeah,
can't pronounce them.
yeah,
The long ones.
Yeah, I call them the dildo bike, but the
The
dildo
bike.
could go, and I think the Aquilins could go as well.
I don't like the Aquilins. I don't like the kit.
No, I don't think many people. I don't see them very often. They're on massive bases as well. I just think that they're going to go, and I think we'll keep the 2 super heavies because they like to keep them for Heresy, right? And then maybe they'll redo the kits for Heresy, but I can't see them being ported over into 40k. So that'd be okay for us to lose. But I do think we are going to get new data sheets.
The Palace Gravitat, the Palace little transport thing with that
I
one.
think that doesn't make sense, does it, to exist, that attack?
No. No, it doesn't.
I do think we're going to get a new Telemon.
Yeah.
Because they even said it in the article when they talked about female custodians. We're going to get onto that with the rumour mill. When they talked about that, they said so they made a joke about Telemons in that. So I think they're very much still like a thing, right? They've basically,
I think so too. Yeah.
They've basically released the most popular models for us all to digest, and then the Coronas tank. They've been like, look at this. Yeah, look at this little side piece.
Let me sell this model that no one's used in like 10 years.
And then how are we going to sell this model, Amphley? We're going to have to give it we're going to have to give it. Yeah, we're going to have to give it a data sheet that's worth using, because if not, nobody's going to fucking buy it. So I just can't see it not happening. I can't see them changing weapon names.
I can see that. Yeah. Just give them better guns than 6 shots dev wound. That's 1 damage each.
Oh my God, some of the stupidest rules.
It has the word blaze cannon in it, so it's heavily misleading. I believe it has blaze cannon in it or something. Some blaze something.
Yeah, but it's not the heavy blaze cannon, is it?
Oh, sorry, so heavy. But like, really, the word heavy, change it to a lethal twin link D6+2. No dev wound.
But apparently it does. That's the point.
That's dumb. No.
But this is if you're going to go back and read this article now, and you'll be like, oh my God.
This is what I'm scared about. Because what if the new Caladius tank gun has the word blaze in it, but there's no heavy?
So, right.
See what I'm getting at?
I do, yeah. Let me get this. So, Coronas. I've just put it in what. So, it's got a twin Arachnus blaze cannon.
Where's the heavy?
Whereas in the new article, it is changed to heavy blaze cannon, which is the exact same gun that is currently on the Caladius Grav tank.
That would be interesting, because if you have like a Land Raider, like you said, it's like the custodian version of Land Raider. Imagine like a Lornas carrier with Caladius shooting.
Yeah,
that'd be silly.
And then they've changed the name of the Caladius's version.
Oh, I'm not happy about that. Okay.
So that is where I'm getting at. It's it's a strange world where I think they've given us a little bit of inkling via this article that we could get some new data sheets, because they did say that we're due a revamp. I think the grenade on the Venatari is a bit of foreshadowing. I think the name changes of the weapons, adding an additional weapon to the Caladius Grav tank, and changing the name on the Coronas, and the fact that they've gone and made a plastic Coronas for starters, just tells me
they're gonna hype out the Coronas. I can see that logic. I agree with that. because it's never been played. I've never seen it in a competitive field ever.
No.
I played it once, and it's complete ass.
I had one guy try to tell me, oh man, getting out of it and being like with your Sagittarium Guard and being able to re-roll to wounds is really good with that death wound thing. And I was like, no, it's not. It's like 500 points, dude. It's not good.
No, it is not. I'll be happy if they just give me grenades. That's it. Just give me King of Foot, give me a grenade keyword, please.
Every custodian player, I hope that if you're listening to this and you sit here and you go, actually, Arron, you got a point. These things did happen. Like the article itself just said some of these units will be used in 40k. Admittedly, it says some of them, but I can't see a world where they take too much away from us. Can you?
No, I don't see them taking away too much. I think they've taken enough from us.
If anything, I can see us losing the Land Raider. Because it's the Land Raider.
I'm okay with that. And give me a usable Cronus.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I think it's going to happen. I think the Heavy Blaze Cannon, the name title change on the article, is a little bit of a hint that actually it's going to become kind of like a Land Raider. Because there's no real reason for us to have why we have Land Raiders, right? Doesn't make sense. So that changing makes sense. Then changing the Caladius tank, then makes sense again. Giving us the new dreadnoughts, beautiful. There's no weapon changes on them; they are literally the same. And this is where I think that's what's really like the big hint here is that they've had no changes to the model style. They're literally just a plastic version of what they are. The Caladius and Coronas have deliberately had name changes on what they're taking. They've had a new weapon included, and the Venatari have been given the option to throw a grenade-looking item.
I'm excited for the changes. I'm glad to finally move away from 15 Wardens. I'm very happy with Land Raiders and Guard. I'm even more excited if we can bring Venatari. And the Coronis Carrier.
It could be amazing. Bear in mind, everyone, this is just rumors. This is just me like diving into that article and seeing if I can pull out something.
But if enough of us believe, it will happen.
Yeah, you know what? The power of belief is a really strong thing.
I'm speaking like an orc here, but it's true.
If I want it to be able to fly, that rock will fly. Damn it!
But that's the key. If you're rerolling a save throw, you're like, I need a 4-up. You're just telling this, it's going to be a 4. It will be a 4.
Every time, 99% of the time.
It's all in the wrist. It's all in the wrist. If you believe in the wrist, you get a 4.
That's right. Look, I've kept you for a while now, so let's move on, and we'll look to end it there. Anthony, you've been an amazing guest. Thank you for joining us. You're going to be coming to join us in the competitive Discord. Get involved.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you
absolutely
make that your new home to talk Adeptus Custodes with us. But I think the first thing he's going to do is go straight to that article after this, aren't you? And start reading.
I'm going to look at it right now. Yeah.
And be
I'm
like,
going to be spiraling in that article for a few hours there for sure.
Oh my God, he's right.
I see it. I see what he's saying.
Yeah. But no, it was an absolute pleasure. I'd love to get you on here again if you're up for it.
Absolutely.
It was great. Look, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Everybody's watching this, thank you very much for watching. Look, we're going to be Anthony's going to be over in the Adeptus Custodes Discord, so I'm sure he'll be chatting to a few people in there at some point. So if you've got any questions, feel free to ask in that space. The description will be available in the description below. If you've enjoyed what you see, please obviously hit that like button. Do the share, do the bell, all that sort of stuff that YouTube likes, just to give us a little bit of a helping hand. And thank you very much for watching. Anthony, you've been an amazing guest. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Take care, guys.